start with his lore. As a kid he has been friends with Camilla, Vance, and Roy. He has a little sister Tanya and a loving mother. His dad left his mother after a big fight. So he grew up with his friends, and after his friend Camilla moved to Canada he got a girlfriend named Amari. But her dad abused her for having Shiro, an emo boy, as a boyfriend. So Shiro and Amari got in a fight and then broke up. After his friend moved back she stays in his house. At school he gets bullied by another guy and Roy. Roy was always just playing with him, but the other guy got pissed that he was hanging with Camilla and pushed him into a brick wall with a nail piercing into Shiro's eye. And Roy defended Shiro. Later Shiro found out Camilla has a crush on him and he likes her back, but is too scared after what happened with Amari because he does not want her to get injured, so he avoids her love, but treats her as a friend. We also have Asher, Shiro's friend that was just included. His name is Asher. He also graduated. Asher met Shiro at his coffee shop where he works for his grandma. Tanya made a mess, so Shiro volunteered to clean it up even though Asher insisted because it was his job. After that Asher thanked him and said it's okay and gave them a free coffee and a cake pop. Tanya and Shiro came back a week later and saw Asher again, but then Shiro got a phone call and stressed because he had to go but had no one to babysit Tanya. Then Asher said he could on his break. So Shiro and Asher exchanged phone numbers just in case something went wrong. Later when Shiro came back he saw Tanya putting clips in Asher's hair and giving him pigtails. They all laughed and decided to talk again. Asher also said he would be fine with watching over Tanya again if it was okay, and Tanya begged her brother. Shiro said yes and they started hanging out more often, but Shiro's friends always wondered why him and Tanya were not hanging out with them as much and insisted to meet this Asher. One thing that Asher never asked Shiro is about his eye until he noticed Shiro had on the bandage or eye patch all the time. Then one day while watching a movie at Shiro's house Asher asked him, and he suggested that he could go to a place where they make prosthetic eyes and stuff so he didn't have to wear that eye patch all the time. Shiro took his advice and that's how they became good friends. But Asher still has lore behind him. Asher has a very rich family but lives with his grandma because his parents traveled a lot. He helps his grandma in a coffee shop to get money because his parents refused to lend money to help support the giant house because they just lost 2 big deals with some companies, and are afraid that theirs will go bankrupt if they don't do something, so they are careful with money. Asher is into running track, soccer, painting, and sometimes rebellious things like sneaking into school at 3 a.m. or going to a bar now that he is 20 and can drink, but without telling anyone where he is going. One day they come home to all their stuff being loaded into a moving truck because apparently his grandma had been hiding the papers from Asher that said the bills were past due. So he wouldn't get worried or worked up because he already works 2 jobs, one at a coffee shop and one at a grocery store in town that was soon going out of business. And he had sports too, so he was always busy. They move into a smaller house and it is not that bad. Everything works well, but Asher calls Shiro and tells him what happened. But Shiro never knew Asher's family was rich and they had a big house.